So fun fact. I just recorded this whole thing and there was a problem with my microphone through the way that I was recording, so now I'm doing something else. So hopefully that means I already know what I want to talk about. It's frustrating because I don't have a script for this. So I'll try to run through this quickly again, but also keep all the same points I spoke about when I originally recorded it. So, hello. Today, I wanted to sit down and talk about the last few weeks that I had. So, I'm talking about from this period here on the 25th of January until yesterday, kind of. So, this period of time has been really difficult for me, and my mood tracker that I'm using here, which I've shown off in another video, it is evidence that what I'm doing has worked. It's evidence that my self-study is worth it. It's proof that I've I've done a couple of things in this period to help keep my mood up above that depression level. So I'm gonna try to explain it and still keep as much detail as I did the first time. So for anyone who hasn't seen this before, I'll just quickly go over what the numbers mean that we have displayed here. So a 4 is a very light, like a basic level of depression. It's kind of like that. Depression is coming in, motivation is a little bit low, these kind of things. Not necessarily that you're in a deep hole, but you're feeling quite sad. Depression is there. The 5 is content. 5 is when things are okay, nothing particularly good or bad is going on in the mind. You're just having a kind of a regular day, uh, regular day. And a 6 is happiness, feelings of joy, that kind of level. Uh, Motivation is higher, you're able to do things, and things generally just feel good. So that's the 4 numbers we have here because they're the 4 numbers I've experienced in this period of time. So that's all I'll explain. What was the main thing here? So, in this period of time, from around the 25th of January until now, I've had to enact a few techniques. So I've had to do a few things personally to stop myself from falling into a depressional state, into a hole of depression. So this week here, where the 19th is, this was the week of Blue Monday, which is apparently it's some kind of like pseudoscience to do with the most depressing week of the year kind of thing. It's not exact science, but there is studies about it. So that was a negative period. Whether it was because of that or not, we don't know. But this day here, I could feel I was slipping into a pretty bad mental place. The depression was coming in. It was I could feel it. Yeah, I could feel quite a depressional phase coming in. And I just had to say to myself, we can't allow this to happen. I didn't want it to happen, and I'm entering this new phase of my life where I want to make things better. And I'm working really hard towards making things better for myself. And it's not easy, and this period of time was particularly difficult. So to start off with, we see here this week, immediately after this 4, I've got these 5s, which means, I was okay. And that's because in this period, I had to do a bit of social isolation. And it's not complete isolation, it's not where I've just cut off contact to anybody, I'm ignoring the world. I still spoke to people, I still met people, but it was much less, like in a much more limited capacity, and essentially I communicated with people less. I was playing games with people much less. I was feeling this kind of social pressure where my brain was telling me there was a particular game that we were all playing, and suddenly I didn't want to play that game as much anymore, and um, I felt if I went online, my friends would want to play that game, and it just made this strange pressure in my head. And because of that, my brain was struggling. It wasn't the only factor, but this was one of the factors, and this was a factor I could control. Other factors that were affecting me were the weather. The weather has been really bad here in Berlin. It's been cold, icy, snowy, dark. It's just been shit, and I can't control that. Then this social aspect I can control. So I decided I would just pull myself back. I didn't play games with people as much. I think I was only on once that week to play with people. I had to pull myself out of that social pressure because it was affecting my brain. It was affecting my mood. And I was feeling depressed about it. I needed to be alone. And I spent this time playing Mount and Blade Bannerlord on my own. I could sink into this fantasy world, on my own. And it helped a lot. Um, and then after that, in that period, like afterwards, this like next week and a half, maybe 2 weeks up, like until this six, and kind of even in this period, I wasn't coming on as much. I was still doing a bit of self social isolation. I did still go to the bar a couple of times with another friend of mine. We still went out. I still socialized with people, and I had a good time. But it was limited. That was like once a week. It would either be a Friday or a Saturday, and I'd go and meet with these people. But overall, I reduced my social capacity by a lot. I wasn't talking to people as much. I wasn't gaming with people as much. Another thing that was happening during this period was I was struggling to get my chores done. Things like cleaning, cleaning the kitchen, cleaning the hallways, hoovering, these kind of things, doing washing. These tasks were building up, and it was causing pressure. It was causing a problem for me because I struggle a lot with that. Those kind of things. It's the classic chaos around you causes chaos in the mind. This very much happens for me, and it was very difficult in that period of time to be able to do any of these chores. And the problem is that for me, when these chores build up, they're so simple, they're so easy. Like cleaning dishes is an easy, simple task. Emptying the bin is one of the easiest tasks in the world, but yet it was really difficult to do those things. And then my mind will make me feel bad for that. It will say to me, how come you can't do this? It's so easy. What's stopping you? And you just end up in this situation of crippling procrastination because the pressure of the task is too much, and it's really difficult to deal with that. So what I had to do in this period was take away that pressure. I just had to tell myself constantly, it's okay. You know, it's okay not to do these tasks. It's okay not to do this because we know this is temporary. In the future, things are going to be okay. We're going to be able to catch up. We're going to be able to do these things. Just do what you can when and however you can. When you need to do something, just do it without pressure. And that's really difficult for me to do. That's really difficult for me to say to myself and actually feel that. And whilst there was this feeling of like these problematic feelings that the pressure was there, I was still able to ease a lot of that negative feeling because of how I went about this. So with that, I have eventually managed to catch up these days here where I've got these sixes. I do think those were quite productive days. I think for the most part that's where I got a lot of the catching up done, and then throughout this last weekend a bit, I've managed to catch up on most of my chores, and that has really helped me get to this point now where I'm making this video. And on the subject of videos, that's another pressure that I had. It's a self-inflicted pressure because I have said that I want to do this. I'm trying hard to get into this rhythm to be able to make videos about mental health. I'm making shorts about me walking, and talking about my situation, how I'm feeling. I want to make videos, like long form videos, talking about particular subjects in more detail, like this one today. And also, I want to be able to stream and show gaming, because gaming is a huge passion of mine, and it helps me through a lot of mental health problems. So often it's insane. So I had this feeling that I was failing. I was failing at doing this task that I had promised that I'm going to keep on top of. And I had to really try hard to not allow that to become a constant feeling, to consume how I felt about that. Because I knew this period was temporary. The weather was bad. I've had two separate colds over the last few weeks, and in general, things had just been tough. So I had to do these little things to be able to keep my mood up so that I didn't fall into a hole of depression where over an extended period of time it becomes so much harder to pull yourself out of that. And I know these things aren't easy. This is the first time in my life, I think, that this has been successful, where I've just been able to brute force my way through it, where I've been mentally um, able to tell myself it's okay. Tell myself it's not important to do this. It's okay. You just need to get through this period of time, and that motivation will come back. Though the positivity will come back. It's a difficult period, and it's more important right now. So my mental health is 100% the thing I need to focus on, and that is the thing I am focusing on every single day. I am focusing more on protecting my own mind than I am doing anything else, because that's what I need to do. If I want to be successful with this, if I want to be successful going forwards and get out the other side of this whole battle with cancer, I need to be focusing on my mental health more than anything. Yeah, I think I've covered pretty much most of the things there. Oh yeah. So one other thing I wanted to talk about and touch on. So like this period here over this last like week or so has been fairly good. I've been able to get a lot done. It's been difficult, but the 17th of February was my birthday, and it was a good day overall. But because I've been sick and stuff like that, it would have been a 6 if it wasn't for things being just so frustrating right now. And on the 18th, the frustration was very strong. I had a really frustrating day that day. I was getting annoyed at myself for not being able to do so much, and there was tasks that I had still built up. Whilst I did get a lot done on these days where I had these 6s, this 4 here, there was a lot I still needed to do. It was really big things that needed doing. So I was really frustrated that day. But also, these last few days I had like a lot of anxiety. So on my birthday, I had received a collective amount of money from people, which I'm really grateful for, and I was able to buy a new graphics card. So now I have a much more powerful setup, and I'm able to actually record games and play games and stream at a higher quality, with more frames and everything. So I'm really grateful for that. And I want to touch on my birthday a little bit at the end here, because it's a very important one. Numerically, it doesn't really hold any significance. I'm 32 now. I reached 32 the other day. But that's the important part, is that I reached 32. And I think there was a collective feeling across my family and friends and, you know, other, like, just people around me, that we're all grateful that I made it. Because after having cancer and the whole fight I've had with it, it it wasn't guaranteed. We weren't 100% sure I could or would make it to this point, but I have, and I'm here. So there was a nice grateful feeling, personally, like from myself and from other people. And I just wanted to touch on that because it's like a sign of resilience, you know. We're able to push through, and these horrific times, terrible times, we can make it to the other side. And as terrible as things are, things can get better. It's never easy. And I'm not saying that, you know, magically one day to the next it's gonna be better. And there's nothing I can say in this video that will just magically make it happen. But I hope that my story, my resilience, and the things that I show you here in this table or in other videos I make, I hope that helps people push through. I hope that helps people find that next bit of hope that keeps them going, you know? Getting a bit emotional here at the end. But that's the main message I wanted to put out right at the end here, because this whole thing is very important to me. If this video helps even one person, then it's done its job, you know? So I'm going to leave it there before I start crying because I'm talking too much. um, so yeah, love you all. Peace out.